I'm not gonna lie, I have gone through a whirlwind of emotions the past 20, 30 minutes or so, just trying to decide what to talk about for today's video, because Team USA is beating Team Denmark. There was a period where this game was actually in Denmark's favor, and I was like, wait a minute, there's an angle here, there's a conversation to have about this game. And then Team USA blew the lead open in the second period, and I was like, okay, well, that's it. Team USA is winning 4-2. No reason to talk about the game anymore because the expectation that we all had is going to come true. But then Denmark scored in the last 3 seconds of the game in the second period. So, we're going to have to keep our eyes out on this one, especially with Jeremy Swayman going out there and allowing goals from center ice. Nicholas Jensen, of all people, going out there and gripping it and ripping it from the red line, only for it to get by Swayman right there at the bottom of the net. Now, in all fairness, there have been some people critiquing the setup of the Olympic Arena in Milano Cortina. Can you see the puck in this picture? Yeah, I bet you can't. It's in the bottom left circle of the Olympic logo, the one on the right side of the players. The puck is barely visible amongst these dark boards in the hockey rink, and so for goaltenders, it is difficult. This seems to have been an issue that has been identified by various broadcasters. We'll see whether or not other teams are able to take advantage. But instead of talking about USA-Denmark, because as you can see, this game isn't even over yet. If Denmark makes a miraculous comeback and they find themselves a way to beat the US, then okay, we're gonna have to make some sort of an exception and talk about that too. But I wanted to focus on a game that had concluded a few hours ago. Team Finland. Oh my goodness. The stipulation was, if Finland beats Italy in regulation today, then Team Slovakia would have won Group B. But you know what? That was never going to be a question, wasn't it? Team Finland absolutely beats down, punches, stomps on, curb stomps, destroys the host team Italy 11-0, the final. And I just want to say this, if we go over to the schedule, the games that we had seen so far throughout the course of the 2026 men's ice hockey tournament at Milano Cortina, Team Italy was hanging in there for a good chunk of these games. 5-2 loss against Team Sweden in a game where they actually had the 1-0 lead. They tied it up 2-2 in the second period, and then Sweden ran away with it at the end. You had yourselves another Italian game further down, 3-2 loss against the Slovaks, a Slovak team that had just gone out there and clinched their way to the number 1 spot in this grouping. 3-2 game. That's close. I mean, it was a very tight series of contests here for the Italians. And so the fact that they were able to hang in there with virtually no NHLers and playing off against some of these decently strong teams, it was a pretty good showcase in front of their hometown crowd. There's a lot to be excited for. But when Italy played off against Finland and Finland destroyed them 11-0, that's when I think everybody was like, okay, yeah, that's appropriate. The Finland that we know is back and the Italy that we expected is here. Let's dive into each of the goals and talk about how this impacts the standings, because this does have a pretty big impact there. Sebastian gets things started 6 minutes in. Mikael Granlund 3 minutes later. Kakko 1 minute after that. In the second period, Kiviranta gets himself the 4-0 goal. Kakko doubles down 3 minutes after that. And then, with 3 minutes to go in the second, Mikael Granlund gets his second of the game. In the third period, Miro Heiskanen gets things going. So does Artturi Lehkonen, Sebastian Armia, Kiviranta. It is a 5-goal against third period for the Italians. And the shots on goal were outrageous. Team Finland had 62 shots to Italy's 15. Like, no words. Absolutely no words. The Italians got 15, 30, 45, 60. They got quintupled in shots against, and both of their goaltenders had to step out there and make some saves here. Damian Clara made 32 saves on 38 total shots against. David Fajani had 19 saves on 24 total shots against. Now, no shade or whatever to Team Italy. We didn't expect them to be competitive in this tournament, but the fact that they were competitive in their first two games was already pretty admirable. It's just losing 11-0 to the Finns isn't really too unexpected at this stage. If anybody told us at the beginning of the tournament, oh yeah, Italy would suffer an 11-0 loss to one of these teams in their group, we'd be like, yeah, that sounds appropriate. And there was a really funny piece of commentary spread out there on the Czech television broadcast once Italy was down 9-0 versus Finland. This video clip is just a pretty innocuous clip of a face-off outside of the Italian zone, but the announcer says this: "Now, there's a melody playing made famous by the film Pulp Fiction. And I think the Italian team now feels kind of like Bruce Willis in the basement." That is absolutely savage. And look, I'm not going to go out there and dispute that. Bruce Willis was tied up in a basement. He was bleeding. There were people around him. He had to break out of a tough situation. Pulp Fiction, of course, the film that it is, a cinema-altering piece of movie making. Not saying that Team Italy versus Team Finland is on that same level, but you can understand the parallels there. Then if we go over onto Twitter and take a look at just some of the notes about the game, there were some guys that were in, some guys that were out. Anton Lundell did not play. Oliver Kapanen also was not playing. Those guys were roommates, and it wasn't confirmed that Oliver Kapanen was sick, but it was confirmed that Anton Lundell was sick. So that, of course, probably played a hand into the decision-making of this hockey contest. Scrolling up into some of the other notes here from Elliot Friedman and others from this Finnish game. Finland beats Italy 11-0, outshooting them 62-15. Group B goes Slovakia, Finland, Sweden, and Italy. The big goal differential puts Finland in an excellent spot for the fourth seed, the final bye into the quarterfinal. And, yeah, okay, is that how Italians are feeling about this game? Mamma mia, I'm not really going to go out there and say that. Likely Sweden-USA quarterfinal coming up, posted by Nick from Data Driven Hockey. Elimination stage rank probabilities. This is interesting. Bye to the quarterfinals, plays qualifier game versus the same colored opponent. Look, there are so many different factors that go into how these seedings are played, and part of the reason why Finland needing to beat Italy in regulation was a big deal was because of the tiebreakers. I'm not going to pretend to understand it, but I'm just going to sit here and watch and just see what games are on and just hope for my team, Canada, to go out there and win as much as they can. But I am under the impression that because of the big goal differential between Finland and Italy, it's going to force some of these other teams, potentially the US and potentially Canada, to bump up their goal differential as well, which we are supposedly trying to see with Team USA. I mean, they're up by 1 so far against Denmark. We'll see whether or not Jeremy Swayman is able to hang in there in the third period, or if he even gets the start. I would assume that he does, but 3 goals against on 11 shots is not particularly great for a guy that was chosen to be an Olympian, right? I mean, I guess that's just for American standards. I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this game. I don't think Denmark is going to come back, but you know, anything's possible. Anyways, the 11-0 Finnish beatdown is absolutely an idea we should talk about here today too. Thoughts in the comment section about this hockey game. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.